Hey, everybody, and welcome once again to the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. It's Mike Parker and Artie Tafoya coming to you once again from the Mechanicsburg Brew Pub of Appalachian Brewing Company. Artie, what's going on, man? And happy April to you. Happy spring.
Yeah, Mike, it's beautiful outside.
For once.
It's gonna be it's been a little dreary. So I'm glad to glad to see the weather's changing and starting to see the buds on the trees. And I think that's a sure sign of spring.
Well, last time we were talking, I was getting ahead of myself. You were scolding me for jumping too quickly into spring and past some holidays and things like that. But we made it through, and we had St. Patrick's Day, which is always a big day for your company. And how did that go? How did the Irish Fest and everything go?
Irish Fest was awesome. The food was great. Everything I tasted, the chefs put out was amazing.
Yes.
So we had 3 weeks of really great food and some Irish beers. You know, we had the Celtic Knot out.
Oh yeah.
And then St. Patty's Day was fun at every location. So. I think it was a great St. Patrick's Day season for us.
Nice. Yeah, I found myself looking into so I took my daughter to a concert for one of her favorite bands down in Philly, and I didn't realize it because I bought these tickets 6-7 months ago, right? As soon as they announced it, and then I realized I was going to drive into Philadelphia on St. Patrick's Day with my 14-year-old daughter. I was a little worried, actually, how things would be, but the venue was awesome. And the only thing I tried to find, I tried to find a green T-shirt, and literally the only green T-shirt that I have is this it's really ratty looking, and it's a Penn State. It's stupid. It's a green. It's not really a Penn State shirt. It's kind of like a knockoff. It's green and it says Happy Valley on it, and that's all it says.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You've seen those?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a classic shirt now, Mike.
I know it's a classic, but then I put it on. And it wasn't the fit is not as classic anymore. So it's not that I'm getting fat, I don't think. It's just that it just doesn't.
It's because you're getting muscular.
It's a certain.
Is.
Do men get wider as we get older?
Something's happening. I don't know what it is, but no matter how much I work out, I can't lose a pound right now.
I just remember, Barry Bonds, right? They show Barry Bonds when he was a young rookie for the Pirates, and he was this, thin guy. And then, say what you want to about Barry Bonds, but as he got older, his head was twice as big. His body was broader. I think maybe that's why the T-shirt just didn't fit the way that it.
Let's go with that, Mike. Let's go with that. Yeah.
So anyway, we ended up getting some from the dollar store. We wore what we wanted to, and then we wore some green beads. So we looked like it was St.
Yeah, you guys look festive.
It was fun, and we were as well dressed as everybody else for the occasion. So anyway, St. Patrick's Day was a blast. I'm glad to hear that things went well, around the brew pub. So, we are definitely looking forward to spring right now. And one of the things that I look forward to is, the garden, okay, but specifically a beer garden type situation. You guys have some great outdoor spaces around the company. If I'm visiting, heck, man, if I'm here in Mechanicsburg or Gettysburg, these are places that you got to go there, have a beer outside, right?
Yeah, our entire team is working to get our beer gardens, and we have different types of them depending on the location. At Harrisburg's a rooftop deck, and Gettysburg has that nice beer garden with the beer window. Here in Mechanicsburg, it's out front, and we got some improvements going on this year. But you got to be careful, Mike. You don't want to get started too early because you'll end up in a position where you got some snow on all your new furniture and everything else. So I don't think it's going to happen this year. It's been pretty mild winter, but I'll tell you what, we got all our guys working in the right direction, and hopefully we'll be able to have some beers outside here soon.
I hope so. And it just makes things, it's another experience. And that's really what you guys are in the business of, it's experiences, right? Whether it's one night or you're coming in here once a week, you come to ABC, you're going to have some fun. We're talking about another event that you're going to be taking part in. And we might as well bring in our guest because she is going to tell us all about a big event that's happening really close by. So anybody who's listening to this podcast in the central Pennsylvania area, there's a beer fest on the horizon, and it's more than just a beer fest. You want to tell us about this event called PA Flavor, Artie?
Yeah, Mike, it's an event that we started. I don't know. It's been about 10 years. Heidi's with us. Heidi Howard from the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging Association. She's with us today. Say hi, Heidi.
Hi. I'm excited to be on the podcast today, and I'm so excited about PA Flavor, which is coming up a week from Saturday. We have sold so many tickets, but we still have room for more. Artie, this is, I think, our 12th year.
12 years.
12.
Oh, wow.
I think so. And we just get it bigger every year, so we're super excited.
That's great. Well, we're glad you're here, and we'll pop in and out with some information about that. But tell us about what you do. What do you do for the Pennsylvania Restaurant Association?
Pennsylvania Restaurant Lodging Association is the overarching hospitality association in Pennsylvania. Our main reason to be is to work with the state representatives and the governor's office on legislation that will further our industry. So I am the director of events. We have a number of chapters and statewide events throughout the year, over 100 every year. So I champion most of those. We do fundraisers and beer festivals and cocktail parties and golf outings to raise money for our educational foundation. We have a scholarship program. We also have a grant program for folks in the industry who are in need. And we also have our advocacy fund, which again helps us with working with folks at the Capitol for our industry.
Well, that's great. And I know this event that we do, it benefits not only the Brewers Association of Pennsylvania, but also the Chefs Association, right?
It does. The Harrisburg chapter of the American Culinary Federation has a huge piece of this event. They help organize it. They're part of the committee. They also do a lot of the food, specifically for the VIP reception, which is the first hour. They do butler pass hors d'oeuvres. They have a whole bunch of cheeses and charcuteries and things they put out. And they also do the chef demos that will be going on throughout the day.
Yeah, Mike, you've attended PA Flavor in the past, haven't you?
Yeah, it's amazing. So let's talk about the venue. That's the biggest thing. So okay, I'm looking at the website right now. So everybody who's listening right now, they can really get this info at any time at their fingertips on their phone, on the computer. It's paflavor.com. And we are talking about the event that's happening on Saturday, April 15th, 2023. It's PA Flavor. It's billed as the ultimate beer and food pairing, and it is happening at the Pennsylvania Farm Show Complex. Easy to get to, right there, just down the street from the ABC headquarters, main brewery on Cameron Street in Harrisburg. Everybody knows where the Farm Show Complex is. And then there's a couple of events you can attend. You've got the VIP reception, which is from 1 to 2. Again, this is on April 15th. And then the general admission session is from 2 to 5. So, Heidi, if I'm just buying tickets to PA Flavor and I'm showing up, let's start. Let's go with general admission and just say what's the general admission experience going to be like if me and my wife are buying a couple of tickets and heading down to the farm show on the 15th?
Yes, it's an incredible experience. One of the best things that I have heard about PA Flavor from the crowd is that not only does it include the samplings of the beverages, the beers. And we have a lot of distilleries this year too, but all the food samplings are included. You don't have to buy any food, so you must come hungry. We have over a dozen restaurants involved doing samplings, and all of that is included with your GA ticket. You even get a tasting glass, a commemorative glass to take home with you. So that's included, and again, you don't have to pay for any of the food. So all the tastings, all the food. We also have a designated driver section. If you want to come and be your DD for your group, you can come for $25 and taste all the food and have all the soft drinks. And you can even, if you have VIP people buying VIP tickets, you can still purchase a designated driver ticket for $25 and come along with those VIP people and sample all the additional things that are happening at the VIP hour. Nice.
I love a beer fest. Don't you?
I love a beer fest. Yeah. I do beer dinners a lot too, Mike, all over the state. And this is the ultimate beer and food pairing.
Yeah.
You got the Chefs Association, and they look at some of the different beers. They work with some of the different breweries to use some of the beer and food. Heidi, are we doing the catering or the butlered appetizers for the VIP section like we've done in the past?
We are. We have 2 culinary schools involved in doing Butler past hors d'oeuvres during VIP. It's very exciting.
All right, just going to run down a few lists, and just there's a long list of breweries that are going to be here. And just looking at it here, I'm looking at 30 to 40, I think, on this list that are going to be there at this point that are on the website. Appellation, of course, and we're just alphabetical order, so no preference here or anything. I'm not biased, Artie, but Appellation Brewing Company, has a big role in this.
At the top of the list,
right.
As always.
Yes. So there's Aldous, Big Spring, Cold Springs, Desperate Times, Englewood, Evergreen, Flat Cap, Fluffy Bunny, Gear House, Hidden Still Spirits, Isaac's Craft Kitchen and Brewery, Jackass, Jackass, I guess those are different, Chris, Lancaster, Lindgren, Love Drafts, Pilgaroo, Regional Harrisburg Area Brewers, that's the rehab guys, the home brewers that do a great job. I love that. Yeah, they always have some interesting stuff. Robin Hood, St. Boniface, Sons of Alchemy, South Country Brewing, South Mountain Artisan Ales, Springgate State College Homebrew Club, Brewery at Hershey, the Vegetable Hunter Brewery, Trogs, Voodoo, Whiskers Brewing, Windridge Farm Brewing, and Zero Day. So that's like
what a great list.
That is, man. That's a murderer's row right there.
Heidi, you've done such an amazing job of putting that together and getting all those brewers in. I'm so excited to try some of those beers, especially Fluffy Bunny. That's going to be my go-to, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. They were actually the first brewer to send in an application, so I think we're all excited to sample Fluffy Bunny.
I enjoy Voodoo too. That's one that I get to. Sometimes I travel up into like the northwest corner. I think they're Meadville. I think that's where they're from.
Yeah, I think that you're right.
Yeah, and I've been up to their brew pub every once in a while. They have some good stuff too. So yeah, I like when the breweries come to you. And you don't have to go to them, that's what makes a beer fest awesome.
Yeah, normally we travel around the state trying other breweries, but they're all coming to us this time, Mike.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, the list of restaurants that's on there too is obviously you guys are doubling up. Appellation Brewing Company, Englewood, Devon Seafood, Chef Tony Food Group, Chili's, Hidden Still Spirits, Hilton Harrisburg. They're known for that. They've got the Ad Lib and the 1700 Degree Steakhouse. Isaac's again, JDK Group, Old Trail Tavern, and Red Robin, which that's a crowd pleaser no matter where you go. So yeah, I mean those are amazing. I could imagine coming in with my favorite type of food, visiting one of them, trying to figure out, having some discussions with an actual brewer, figure out what goes good with this, right? And that's what this is all about. It's fun. Obviously, it appeals to foodies and craft beer lovers, but this is actually educational, something you should go home with some knowledge if you can remember on the way out, right?
Yeah, and one other thing that we're doing there is, I don't know if you remember Steph Dodge, but I'm sure you do. You worked with her for years. And she's going to be doing a bartender display with Appalachian Craft Spirits, I believe we're doing a mule flight. So mule, bourbon mule, or Kentucky mule, Mexican mule, nice. And all those different types of mules. And it's going to be doing mule flight and showing you how to make those drinks. So that'll be another educational portion of the event.
Heidi, what are you into the most? Are you more the foodie, or are you interested in the craft beers?
Oh, I like both sides of it, and I love the way some of the breweries want to be next to a certain restaurant, and then they combine ingredients to make food that matches a beer.
Oh,
I think that's my favorite part of the event.
Cool. So, lots to look forward to. Let's give that last pitch. I know the website is paflavor.com. It's happening April 15th at the Farm Show Complex in Harrisburg, the ultimate beer and food pairing. And you guys are on social media too, so I'm just looking. I'm seeing here on your website, it's got a direct link to Facebook. That's probably a pretty good place for information if people want to get tickets, if they want to share some info with some other people who might be interested. What's the best way to go about getting tickets? And I mean, I'm assuming there's tickets still available, right?
There are tickets still available. You can purchase your tickets in advance. You can even purchase your tickets on site. But yeah, paflavor.com would be the quickest link for you, and there's a button that just says purchase tickets, and we make it as easy as possible.
Awesome. Artie, last words here. Thank you for Heidi for bringing Heidi into the podcast today. If I wasn't going to be away, unfortunately, I'll be traveling. I won't be here for PA Flavor, but I expect to hear all about it next time we get together.
You bet, Mike. I'll let you know how it goes, and we're expecting a great event. We got our team from ABC. We're going to be running down there, helping out, volunteering, and just trying to make sure that everything goes great. So get those tickets now, and don't wait till the last minute. But get your tickets now, and if you want to get that preview, that hour preview of all the special beers and the special appetizers and hors d'oeuvres, you want to get that VIP ticket as well.
All right. Heidi Howard, thank you so much for joining us. Heidi, again, is the director of, she's director of events with the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging Association. And she's running the show over there with PA Flavor this year. So we're looking really forward to it and wish you the best on a great event. We know it's going to be amazing. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You bet. All right, paflavor.com. Artie, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on here within the walls of the brewing company this spring. If I'm popping in, what can I look forward to? Plus, I just want to do some general catching up and find out what you're up to. You got some things going on and maybe some travel ahead or some activities, and we'll talk all about it. We'll just have a little fun when we come back here on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Check us out online at abcbrew.com.
All right, and we're back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. Mike Parker and Artie Tafoya coming to you this session. And, Artie, we had Heidi on, and Heidi was joining us via Zoom, so we kind of lost a little bit. I didn't want to, we didn't want to spill anything. We didn't want any spillage on the laptop when we were talking to her. So I held off, and I didn't want her to feel left out. But we do have a couple of beverages in front of us. So this is, after all, a beer-centric podcast. So cheers, and then you can tell me what's actually in this glass when we cheers here.
All right, here we go, Mike.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, so it is red, somewhat red. Maybe I'm just going to take a guess based on. Okay. All right, it's being served to me in a snifter. It is. It's got a reddish. Maroon hue to it. It's nice. It's somewhat frothy. I'm going to take a sip. Oh, it's a sour.
Oh yeah.
And it's what is that? Raspberry?
Blueberry.
Blueberry. That makes perfect sense. Fresh blueberries.
Yep.
Yes. So what do we got there? What's the name of this beer?
So that's You're My Boy Blue. It's our new blueberry sour, part of the Fruit Sour series, and that's FRU with the umlaut.
Right.
T, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is your, it's a wonderful blueberry sour. I think he ended up using close to 500 pounds of fresh blueberry puree.
Wow.
And it just has that nice balance, a little bit of lactose in there to give it a little roundness, but otherwise it finishes nice, clean, and tart.
You know me too well, sir.
Yes, I do.
No, that's really good. I said, I don't know.
I knew that's what you'd want.
Well, I told you, I'm not in for a big pint glass. Today I said I have a little bit too much to do here this evening, but I was like, I can handle something small, but that's perfect. That's delicious. All right, so You're My Boy Blue, calling back to the old school movie.
That's right.
Perfect.
That's right.
Classic
Yeah,
line. I love
no
it.
doubt.
All right. And if people yell that at the bartender?
Oh yeah, when they want it, they just yell that at them, and
Sweet.
they get a nice snifter over and enjoy a nice crisp sour.
All right, I could see that, and I could see enjoying that one. So, Artie, what do you have? You got something a little bit different. Looks a little bit more of a traditional beer over there.
Yeah, I've got the BTTLB, which is better than the last batch. It's our series of hazy New England style IPA that changes every batch. So each batch is better than the last batch, just like it says, right? Yeah. This one is amazing. We've had a couple that have been along the lines of traditional hazy, nice fruity. We've had some that were a little more tropical. We've had some that are a little more piney. Like that, and this one's amazing. It is more on the dank side, so we're taking you to the dank side here, Mike, a little bit. All right, and they altered the grain bill a little bit, but the hops are what really make it. That we use cashmere hops in this one, and it just is nice, danky, and sort of earthy. Nice. It just a totally different style. changes everything, and but it's still amazing.
All right, better than the last batch. I saw actually I was just in the brew pub last week. Brought the family in, had an awesome meal. The one thing I like, and a lot of people appreciate this too, is around Lent. You know, they got the fish fry Friday, and the fish is always good, but
and it's amazing. Yeah.
It was really awesome. So thank you for that. Just keeping that. I mean, that's been on the menu basically forever, right?
Sure has. Yeah, and it's always that beer batter, and it's always been consistent. Mm-hmm. They use the Water Gap wheat in that.
Right. Part of the batter.
Yeah, and the batter, and it just fluffs it up just right to where it's got that right amount of coating on it. Not too much, because you can get fish and chips. It can have
too much,
way
and
too much
it's not always done on the outside of the fish, right? Because if you want the fish not to be a dry piece of, like. You want it to be moist, but then if the batter's not cooked right, then that's not as good.
That's right. Yeah, and I also don't like it if it's too bready, panko-y.
Right.
I don't like it. It's just a different consistency than I want in my fish and chips. So, I as I age, I can't eat fish and chips as much as I like because it's not. I don't think it's the best for you, even though you're eating fish, Right. So sometimes when I order it, I always say I'm going to get a side salad with it instead of French fries, right?
Yeah.
And I never do that because they go so well together, It's fish and chips,
it does.
Right?
If you can pop some vinegar on there, that's like a dream. And then with the tartar
doubt.
sauce.
Like a half a bottle.
No, it's so good. And well, you know what I paired it with, which is obviously we've been doing this. I don't know, several years at this point, this podcast, and it comes up all the time, but I'm a wheat beer guy, so it's probably why I'm drawn to that dish. But one of my favorite wheat beers is on tap right now, too, and it's the Hinterland Hefeweizen.
That's right. Yeah, it just came out for spring.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful spring beer. It's got that nice clove and banana.
I mean, it's
in the
really
nose and flavor, and it just, isn't it?
There's
and
something.
The guys are just killing it.
It's better. For some reason, it's better than ever. Like, I don't know if it's just because I missed it or I was... we're coming out of winter, and admittedly, I was, drinking some more. For some reason, I was into sours and chocolate stouts this year. Maybe, I don't know. And then, so when I switched, the Hefe is back in, so I'm like, this is all I need. It's my desert island beer. Sure. So, but yeah, it hit me. I was like, if you're looking, I know it's the yeast that creates that flavor. It's the interaction with the sugar, and that's the side effect of that Hefe strain of yeast, is to create those flavors that are reminiscent of banana and clove. It's not like you're putting banana juice and clove, in the beer. It's a side. It's what happens. It's natural. It's the effect of the yeast.
Right. It's a byproduct of fermentation, and they're called esters. Those are those flavors that you're getting. They're esters of clove and banana, and I'll tell you, when that beer's fresh, there's no better beer.
No, it's delicious.
There. Yeah. And not that it's not always fresh, but I'm talking like the first couple weeks after it comes out.
Yeah.
Every beer sort of has a bell curve of its it rises up and peaks in flavor, and then it's probably not a bell so much, but it just sort of levels off and doesn't get any better. And then once it gets a little older, some beers can even get better, but most beers tail off in terms of the actual punch of their flavor, right? Yeah. It just sort of dulls down over time.
The other thing, too, is so when you're getting a beer that's like, so you're coming in, and one thing I noticed and remember is that when you're kegging Hefeweizen, it has, obviously the yeast is a major deal in that. When you're storing, so it makes sense that when you're pumping it out of the brewery into the kegs, some of that yeast is transferring into the keg. And then if you have a home system like I do, I know when I pick up a keg of that beer, it's always stored upside down. And then when I get it home, I flip it upside down. And then those pints that come out of that first round, or that first day or two of like maybe having one, they're yeastier, right? Is that a good way to put it? Or it's kind of like a yeast shower going down through the beer, and then eventually it settles.
Yeah, the yeasts are special, and Hefeweizen's not unlike the new hazy beers. The yeast is considered to be non-flocculent, so it stays in suspension. Some of it will settle out, but we will ship not only our wheat beer, but also any of the Hefeweizens out upside down. You flip them prior to pouring, and that keeps you from sometimes getting that first few pints of just sort of yeast. Yeah. So that's the way we approach that, and all of our locations will get it, keep it, and then when they go to pour it, they'll flip the keg, and that first pint comes off as sort of yeasty, but other than that, it's nice and suspended.
Right. No, it does. And I mean, that's what I always say. You hold it up to a light, like there's not a lot of light coming through that beer, right?
No, it's pretty opaque. That's for sure.
It's a beautiful beer, and I think it's whatever the guys are doing, it's an amazing version of that beer. And I've been somebody who's drinking that for many years. I am not getting. I'll never get sick of it. You know what I mean? Like it's like I said. It's everybody has a favorite style. That's my favorite style. So anyway, great job on that. I definitely recommend it with whatever. If you're coming in for fish, that's a great thing. Otherwise, I'm just thinking it gets me in the mood for these warm spring days, and then thinking summertime. So speaking of that, anything going on, Artie? Summertime plans? I know we're in April, and we got spring here. We're gonna have some Penn State football and stuff. We'll be kicking off some. That's on the horizon. Heading back up there. Blue and white games, spring training, baseball's around. I don't know. Anything else you got anything going on?
Well, you know what? We're gonna travel a little bit this year, Mike. The last couple of years, we lost a couple. We had our 25th anniversary. I don't know if you remember. We probably talked about that on the podcast at one point, but we didn't. We were wanting to travel for that, and we didn't get a chance to do that. So Carrie and I decided this year is going to be the year. So we're going to take a little bit of time to ourselves this year and do some traveling. Pretty excited about getting out, hoping to get out to see some family, and just a couple different trips, but it should be a nice summer worth of travel for us.
Yeah, it's things are shaping up to somehow be crazy for us. So we're doing some we haven't been on a cruise like a lot of people. I mean, my kids are 14 and 12, so when we were younger and dating, me and Tara, we would we went to like Jamaica a couple of times. We went to like Aruba on our honeymoon, and like a couple of these Caribbean spots. That's her preference. You go stay at like a resort and just like chill out for a week, and it's a great time. But then once we had kids, we really didn't do that. And then I realized our passports expired. And right as we were planning a cruise that another family member was kind of planning, and then we kind of hopped on board. So then we have this last minute scramble to get passports and all this other stuff, which has been kind of stressful. But I'm sure people have been down that road. I'm not going to go too far in. I think everything's cool. If not, I guess they'll let me on the boat. I don't know if they'll let me off. So I might be the only guy at the buffet while everybody's off, whatever, snorkeling. But
you'll be at home?
Yeah. I think they'll let me on the boat. I just don't think I'm allowed to get off.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Joe Hoover, he was going to go to Mexico.
Yeah.
And he didn't have his passport. So he always says that somebody messed up him going to Mexico. Yeah. It wasn't him, of course.
No, of course not.
Somebody did.
Well, like when you're like, I used to go when I got my passport in like 2000 or something. Like, I remember I didn't travel anywhere internationally. Like when I was in college, but when I got out of college, I had like a work opportunity that I needed to possibly have my passport for. So we rushed. I swear I got it in 2 days. Like I went to like the Dauphin County Courthouse or something, and like I got my passport. It didn't take long. Everything was taken care of. You pay a little extra. But this has been stressful, and it's then once you become aware of it. So if I'm giving anybody some advice that you can actually use besides our beer and food knowledge on this podcast, it's if you thinking about traveling, get your pass. Don't do it at the last minute because that's right. It'll stress you out.
It can take as long as like 4 to 6 months, can it?
Yeah,
Sometimes I think if you go through the normal process, by the time you fill out the application, go get your picture taken,
right,
and all that other stuff because you have to have a special picture. It has to have the right background,
right
and
size.
Everything. Yeah, you can go to the post office and get it. I think
in some places you can, but so that's what it used to be. If you ever did it and then you are like me, it's a lot easier to renew your passport. But if you're going to start it over again, you got to go through the whole process. And then so that's where I'm at. It's like, where am I going to get these passport photos done? I got to like dig up my birth certificate. I got to do all this other stuff. And then there's like a 1 day way to do it. but it's a real pain in the butt. You will lose your entire day. It's not something you can do last minute. It's still a lot of planning, and it's just super stressful. So anyway, but besides that, I'm hoping, and if I can't go, I'll just see you at PA Flavor.
There you go. Come see us. You can come hang out with us. That's for sure.
That'll be fun.
You know, I have a feeling you're going to become a number and you're going to sit in a lobby for some time, but you'll come out with that passport.
I'm thinking.
And it'll be worth it in the end.
I hope so. I hope so. So that's going to be our spring adventure, and I'm pretty pumped about that. And then, I'm just, you know me, man. I love fishing. I love, so my son and I, we're just pumped about, being able to just hop on those kayaks and stuff and head down the Swatera Creek or the Susquehanna River and just chill out, catch some fish, and I know that's a big thing too. I always tell people, camping, outdoor activities, the one thing that's the one thing that's great about canned beers, right, is that they're easily traveled when you're doing those activities, because the glass bottles are a little tougher to travel with. But
yeah, they're a little heavier, that's for sure. But cans, you can sort of stash them away a little bit in a backpack, and not have to worry about anything breaking. I was most excited about us going from bottles to cans because I love golfing, as you know. And certainly being able to go to the golf course and get a can of ABC is exciting for me.
Yeah, they're just a lot more versatile, and they're great on the beach and everything like that too, as compared to where they allow alcohol on beaches and stuff like that. But it's just a lot safer around a pool and the water in general. So yeah, that's cool. So I know there's some news on the can front, and I'm excited because it's kind of like a supersized announcement, if you will. If I'm looking at what I'm looking at, it looks kind of big, and we're going to talk about it when we come back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and tell a friend and another friend and another friend.
I think you're good. All right, and we're back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. Going to round things out here with our final segment, but we're not in any hurry, Artie. I actually want to take a little bit of time and talk about something that's been sitting on the table here for the last few minutes. I've got the You're My Boy Blue blueberry sour, which is in your fruit series, and you've got the Better Than the Last Batch, which is an IPA, a hazy, and part of your hazy series. But then you got one of the, I guess I'll call it the new classic. It's the Out of Focus double IPA, but it's in a different vessel, I should say, than I've seen before. This is a big can.
That's a big can, Mike.
That's not just a pint can, right?
That's not a 16, what they call a pounder, but this is a 19.2. I've heard of it out in the marketplace being referred to as a stovepipe. Yeah, because you see how tall and slender they are. There are bigger ones. I don't know if you've seen some of the cans. They're a little bit fatter and taller. They're like 22 and a half.
I think that's what they're like. Like I went up to Beaver Stadium, or let's just put it like what you're getting like a ball game. Like basically, they're like a
they're a little bit
that's
bigger,
like a fat
round,
can.
But they're about the same height. But what people don't realize, this is the same size in diameter as a regular 12-ounce can.
Right.
And 16, and this is the 19.2. And this is much more of a single-serve type. You see people buying them in beer distributors. They'll just take one or two to the counter, and maybe it's their daily allotment of beer, for themselves.
No, that's really cool. So
but it's a cool package, and we're happy to be out in it right now. We're going to have Out of Focus in this package, and also we're going to have the Hop Offering, which is our session IPA. It's another beer that in this size, you mow the lawn and you grab one of these Hop Offering, and it's just the perfect amount of beer to get invigorate yourself after mowing the lawn.
Nice. Yeah, it's a 19.2 ounce can, 1 pint, 3.2 ounces is what that comes out to. So it's a little bit more than a pint. So if you're thinking about what we're describing here, it's almost like a double. In appearance, it's not quite as much because that would be 24 ounces. But if you had a 12-ounce can, it kind of looks like two cans stacked on top of each other, almost like standard like 12-ouncer, and then it's a little bit bigger than the 16-ounce can. So that's really cool. The stovepipe. All right, so look for that And assuming I know it all goes into this stuff. It's not like you just do it overnight. You got labels that have to fit, because I say that's definitely a special label. That label's not the same one you're putting on a 12-ounce can, and now you're putting it on this huge can.
Sure, yeah, no, the label's different. This we do have in 16s and 19.2s, because they're different marketplaces in most cases where you might sell a case or a 4-pack of the 16-ounce, 4 and a 4-pack.
Right.
You might buy these in a single serve, like I said, but right now with our canning line, it's very versatile, so we can change over from this type of a can to a smaller can. It can do all 3 sizes now, which is pretty amazing. Bigger
is better.
Yeah, I'd say so.
That's cool. So, I appreciate that. So if we're like, if you're walking through that, to me, I do some of that single can shopping every once in a while. Like I have my old favorites and everything that I might pop in to a beer distributor for, or, like the bottle shop to see if I can find something in a 4-pack or a 6-pack. But every once in a while, I just want to try something because I'm not sure. It piques my interest, but I don't know if I want to take a bunch of them home, or I just want to try, like you said, like I'm in a single serve situation. Like I just don't, maybe I'm traveling. Maybe I'm going, when you travel for work or something like that, and you end up at the hotel for the night, you don't feel like going down and sitting at the bar with a bunch of strangers. You find something like that, that's like the perfect size to go back and chill, watch some TV, and go to bed or something. You know what I mean? Like it's a great size beer. So
yeah, if you're trying the beer out for the first time, for sure, right? You can go and grab 3 or 4 of these different beers, and put them in your cooler, pull one out at a time. And I know you're going to love this Out of Focus. It's more of a since we've made it, we've called it the Pacific Northwest style. It's really West Coast IPA, when it comes down to it. It features Chinook hops, all sorts of, giving you that little bit of, Amarillo, Azacca, and, it's got that nice bitterness to it with a little bit of floral, but it just, with that nice maltiness and it's a little bit darker in color. Of course, you're looking more like I wouldn't say amber, but that little bit darker golden, that's for sure.
Yeah, got it, definitely. Yeah, like maybe like a copper.
There you go. Good descriptor. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So the one thing you said, if I'm buying these, you're not going to find these with those can connectors on top, right? So if you buy a 4-pack or a 6-pack, sometimes they, instead of having the old tortoise killing ring on them,
that's right.
They have like those click top like can things. You call them
they're called Pactex.
Pactex, right. Yep. They hold the can together, and you can kind of, it's like a little handle, and it's just the top of the can. And I was just saying, the ones that you guys use are so good, like they're convenient, and I end up recycling them. Like I'll use them to like pop a couple cans. It's like that way it's if I have multiple cans of beer sitting around the house and I have one of those Pactex, then I just click a couple beers into it and I walk away with it, like one little unit. Then there's another type that's out there that's like, I don't want to I don't know what the purpose of it is, but it's not as good. It's like and it's almost a real pain in the butt too. Like they fit really tight, and it's like the ring. But maybe they dissolve or something. I don't know. Maybe they're better.
I think that is they're a little more eco-friendly. Is that one made out of cardboard?
It might be. Yeah, they're like a real hard cardboard, but there's also some plastic or something in it. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's a little strange in terms of consistency. We've looked at them, but they just, we've heard so many complaints about them, and you're saying the same thing. These are fully recyclable, so we don't mind using them. Just make sure they get into the recycling bin wherever you're having them. But the other ones tend to be sort of strange. I've had beers fall out of them.
Yeah.
And I've also had trouble getting a beer out of it.
Yeah.
And so I will say that the Pactex can be a little bit tough. If you're trying to pull one out, but they also won't fall out on you when you're going. And like you said, you can reuse them.
Right.
I do a lot of sampling and visiting of locations, and I bring in samples. I'll just click, I'll pull 4 or 5 different beers, and I'll just click them back in there, and that way I can carry it in that way. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot less packaging when it really boils down to it, and the fact that they can be reused. Like, there's not really much you can do. Like, you buy a loose, packaging is part of the brewing industry. So, being responsible with that. There's always an aluminum can. There's always a glass bottle, and a bottle cap. These things have been going on. This is what's been going on for years, and most people, recycling has become automatic for people, at home and
Sure.
here in the business. So, but yeah, those, it's just a little story. Those are like, you can really struggle with a bad one, like those ones that I talked about. And so it's almost like, I'd rather just not have any at all if I have that.
Right.
So the other ones are reuse and fully recyclable. So I'm cool with those. So anyway, cool can. And so look for the stovepipe can. Wherever you're buying your ABC products. And Out of Focus, that's a perfect beer to a pint plus an extra 3.2 ounces.
Yeah, that's the bonus.
That's the bonus.
That's the bonus part.
And enough to share.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the price point's really good on it. It's a good price point for a single serve. We're really excited to be in that marketplace at this point.
Awesome. All right. So, Artie, we're wrapping things up here, but it's April. We're looking into May, by the next time we get together. So
and we got Easter coming up, Mike.
Well, yeah, Easter is one of these holidays. This is the first time I'm ever going to be really away for Easter. And Easter for my family, certainly we have little kids, but it's a holiday. It's a religious holiday for our family, and the meal and family time and stuff. So absolutely. It's a place that I'm taking a beer or two along, and it's the end of Lent. So if I've possibly given something up, it's a chance to indulge again, whether
That's
it's, maybe somebody gave up the brew for a month and a half. But yeah, Easter egg hunts, family time, big meals, all these things. It's an important holiday. What about you guys? What are you doing?
Well, I'll tell you, my Easter started last weekend. I was at an event at Knobel's golf course. I don't know if you know, they have a golf course up there.
Absolutely. Never played it, but yeah.
Yeah, we got to get up there and play it. But they had what was called Kegs and Eggs. So I asked Carrie, I said, do you want to go with me to this event? It's Saturday. And she's like, well, I don't really want to go if I have to get up early, because first thing she thought of was kegs and eggs, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be beer and breakfast. And then I told her, no, the event's 4 to 7. And she's like, well, how do you do kegs and eggs from 4 to 7? And I said, well, it's an Easter egg hunt where you hunt Easter eggs, and you open up your Easter egg, and it has there's always a present of a beer, of some sort of beer.
Sweet.
So then you gather all your Easter eggs, you open them up, and whatever you won, you go claim your prize. And we had not only hop offering, but our On Point Pilsner there.
Yes.
The session beer and the pills. And it was a blast. And it was then a little like a beer festival where people could go around and taste your different beers. So we had a bunch of different beers there. And
cool.
And so that's how my Easter started. But we are going to go visit some friends for Easter. Our girls, it's their birthday weekends here. Their birthdays are the 2nd and the 8th. But they're now older, so they're hanging out with friends. They're not really looking to hang with us. So we're going to go visit some friends and have a nice Easter for ourselves, and of course get to church on Sunday. Of course.
Well, safe travels wherever you go. We're getting a little bit. This is a little bit of an early gathering here since we're going to be gone. It just happened to be where everything fell into place that we could make it happen around all of the other activities that we have on weekends and stuff. But yeah, I never planned on being away for. It's people do it all the time, but I don't really never traveled on a holiday. And it was one great thing about where my career has taken me, coming home to where I grew up, and I don't have to. I'm usually everyone else is trying to get out of town or get time off and things like that, so that they can go visit family in another part of the country or wherever. And I'm always like, no, my family's all pretty close, so always been fortunate to have that. So yes, I want to wish everybody that happy Easter. Hope that you have a great time. And I'm really, Artie, I guess the next thing we'll be doing is looking forward to the first summer holiday, which is Memorial Day. And, that's a whole nother discussion I guess we'll get into when we catch up next time.
Yeah. My buddy Jim moved down to Florida, and he used to have a big Memorial Day party at his house every year. Mm-hmm. And that would kick off opening the pool and all that stuff. Well, he's not going to be here this year. So we sort of had our last hurrah last year, and so we're going to have to try to find something else to do. We used to do the Bruiser event that weekend too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
certainly would love to try to get that back up and running, but that was such a big effort to go into that. But hey, who knows? Maybe next year we can get that going again and get into stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
you know, I love spring because it's good beer drinking weather and good times to get back outside after sort of being cooped up a little bit. It was a cold, sort of dreary winter.
It's finally time to turn the page on it because there's a period where you can't commit. That's what I like to say. You're still in the jeans and the sweatshirt, and then eventually just one day clicks and you said, you know what, man? These shorts,
time for some shorts.
These
That's
pasty
right.
white legs are coming out.
That's right.
Enjoy, world.
Yeah, right.
That's
why I wear my sunglasses, Mike, in case you bring those out.
I know. All right. Well, Artie, it's been a great time. I want to remind everybody for all of their Appalachian Brewing Company information, local brew pub, what's on the menu, what beers are coming out, all of the events that are associated with the company, where you can find those products wherever you travel. Go to abcbrew.com and check them out on social platforms too. So Artie, any final words besides the one I know that's coming up here as we clank this glass?
Oh, Mike. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. No final words. Just come down and see us sometime if you get a chance. We appreciate everybody that are our customers, and we love serving you guys. So,
well said. All right, everybody. For Artie, it's Mike, and we'll say have fun, be safe, and we'll talk to you next time on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast.